Hi, and welcome to Chronicles of Yarnia, the podcast from Montclair's local yarn store. Remember to like us and subscribe us under Kathleen over there.
Yeah,
and then you can follow us on all kinds of social media, which we'll go into later because I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyway.
And they probably all know, too.
They probably all know. And
it's
honestly,
at the end of the podcast
Amanda's
now.
And yes, there's a nice slide at the end.
Yeah, there's a slide at the end.
A nice little visual. Yep.
So you can either watch through or fast forward through. And then Amanda will put it all downstairs. So anyway,
it's in the
Jen.
down bar too. That's right. Amanda.
Kathleen.
And this is episode, I don't know because I wasn't in the last one.
It is the real episode 23.
The real.
It's
23.
the real episode 23.
And by now, the one that said 23 will have been corrected to say 22.
So apparently we
Amanda's gonna handle
published the last one as episode 23, but really it was episode 22. Is that what it is? Yeah. I would have gotten it wrong
I
anyway.
was optimistic.
Yeah. And honestly, I had no involvement in it.
Maybe it just took me so long to edit it felt like.
I felt like 2 episodes in one.
But I had no involvement in getting the number wrong, so like...
I know. You were so happy, right? It's like, you managed to screw it up that one, guys.
Not it. Anyway, we are going to have a special guest star for this one. Our friend and coworker Beth is going to be coming in just a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, we're going to go straight to what's happening around town. The biggest thing is the New Jersey Wall Walk is coming up the first week in April.
That's not around town, that's around state.
That's around state.
That's around the entire state of New Jersey.
It's local New Jersey.
Yes.
Yes.
And actually, this year, there are 21 stores participating,
that's
which is amazing.
So many.
It's 4 days.
And, it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
April 2nd through April 5th.
Plan your routes.
Plan your route.
Start
5 a
Yarnia.
day.
We're
One
a
of your
very
days.
good starting point.
We
or
are.
a pass-through
Centrally
point.
located. Yes.
Yeah,
And-
because we're
and
right off
actually-
the Parkway, right off 280.
And we're also a really great place where if you come here, then go have a nice meal. We have probably more restaurants than any other yarn store town in New Jersey.
Perfect lunch stop.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. No, we have gotten to other, when we've been together, we got to other stores and we're like, now we need to eat.
We had a quick
there
lunch somewhere, but if you want to have, and actually ask any of us in the store when you come in, we should have actually a list. We should do a list for that. We will have a list.
We will have a list.
We will have a list of
various
recommended
options.
spots. And
Walkable,
Jen's
jerkable,
favorites, Amanda's
my
favorites.
favorites.
Kathleen's favorites.
Yeah.
Quick
There's probably going to be
bites.
some overlap on those things, too.
Sit down. Oh my gosh, that's going to be fun because
All
we
right.
really do have a lot of lunch options.
We do. And or even if people made us the last stop and went to dinner. You know,
Oh, yeah.
Actually, that's the
even more
perfect
dinner
place.
spots.
Maybe we'll just swap it out at 4 o'clock. You have to come twice now, 2 different days. Once to get the lunch
Get your
spots and
list.
once to get the dinner spots.
And we are going to have a late night, one of the nights of the Wall Walk, and I can't remember what we said.
Friday.
Because I'll
Friday.
be there. Y'all
Yeah.
come see me.
And I'll be here too, and I'm sure I'll stop back in during the evening. It'll be fun. It'll be really good.
You can come get yarn and then go to the new hotel.
Ooh,
The
we
MC.
can go have
Yeah.
drinks at the
MC.
MC.
And actually, if the weather is nice, they might have the outdoor deck open.
Oh, if it was like it was yesterday. Oh my goodness.
Ooh,
I know,
or
it's been so warm.
Faubourg, if they have their patio
Oh,
open.
that's so nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
They have
beautiful
good
spot
drinks.
for drinks.
They have
Plan
good
that.
drinks.
Make reservations.
Yeah, make reservations. But I think the patio is like cocktails only.
It's
I don't
like
think you
oh,
can
they
reserve. I
don't
think
take
it's walk-in.
reservations. Yeah,
When I've
So
been
it'll
there,
be-
it's been raining and cold.
I went in the winter.
yeah. I have not managed to do the outdoor port there either.
Yeah. The cocoa band was great though.
And I won't
Really
on
good
Friday because I'll be here.
Here, so you can come say hi to Amanda, and you can grab like maybe like a drink of bubbly something from
I'm sure we'll have something.
where we will be, and then you can go wander off into the wilds of Montclair for dinner.
Yes. It's a nice wild to be in.
It really is. It really is.
Lots of good choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots and lots.
Also, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that we will have Girl Scout cookies.
We will have Girl
Of course,
Scout cookies.
that's right.
Because the other thing that's going on around town
We
right
could
now.
put that on our special events.
Oh, that's totally our special
Oh, no,
event.
that is our special event.
Who needs
And what we're talking about
Girl
is that
Scout?
some yarn stores during the Wool Walk are having special events, and we were talking about what kind of event we wanted to do, and we already have one. We did it last year.
Girl
Oh
Scout
my
cookies.
goodness. And
So-
with a real live Girl Scout.
Actually,
Abby
it's
will
true.
be here.
Yeah.
A real life selling Girl Scout.
Selling Girl
Girl
Scout
loves
The
cookies.
herself.
cutest salesperson you ever did see.
Oh my
is
goodness.
Abby.
Yeah. And it's nice. We have it set up nicely so you don't have to worry about, do I have cash? Does Abby have exact change? Because you can just bring them in the store and we'll bring them
Yeah.
up.
You can buy all your Girl Scout cookies with credit card through us.
That's true. Yeah.
Thanks to Amanda and her daughter Abby. So
And Girl Scout Troop 20319.
Oh,
Here
wow.
we go.
When Haley was in, she was like Troop 247 or something.
Yeah.
They still had, well, actually, I think they were technically like 20247, but they never changed their number.
Yeah.
When they started, they were just a 3-digit number. And they kept it.
That's because our New Jersey used to have a lot more councils than they do now. And back in 2007, I think, 3 councils merged to be part of New Jersey.
To be Girl Scouts.
If you're a Girl Scouter, you know about councils and all that kind of stuff. And by the way, for those of you who are not local and watching, we have little brownie bakers, not ABC cookies. That means our Samoas have dark chocolate on them.
Oh, is that the difference?
There are other differences too.
Interesting.
But that's the one that's more preferred usually, right? Isn't it? Or
Little brownie bakers, yeah. ABC has a really nice lemon cookie, but Little Brownie Bakers has a new lemon cookie this year that is substantially similar.
Imagine.
Shocker.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Competitive advantage of ABC. Just saying.
Is that all local New Jersey is Little Brownie, or is it like individual troops?
Each council picks their distributor.
Yeah. So I know my nephew is down kind of near Trenton, and they have the other one.
ABC. They're part. They're Southern New Jersey. GSS and J. Right. We're heart of New Jersey. GSH and J.
I was never a Girl Scout.
You have boys.
I have boys.
Oh,
I was never a Girl Scout.
I was a Girl Scout dropout.
Never done that.
Haley was a Girl Scout from kindergarten through 12th grade. She was all 13 years. Yeah.
My mom has opinions about the Girl Scouts. Now positive, but when I was little, she was like, "Oh hell no, I'm not doing that." I think just the level of work.
Well, Girl Scouts was how I learned to hate camping. So there is that. So there were a lot of good things I learned.
Girl Scouts is how I learned to love camping. Like I had never, so I've been a leader for 11 years. I actually had like a notification on my Facebook the other day that was from my very first year as a leader.
Aww.
And it said, going to pick up 105 cases of cookies. Yesterday, I picked up 105 cases of cookies. I was like, how is this possible that I have exactly the same number of cases I did in my first year?
That's fascinating.
Yeah. So, but I had some other leaders who were like, come camping with us, Amanda, because we have a camperee.
And Seisha is a leader too. She does a lot of
so
camping with her daughter's troop.
Abby's going to be here a lot of the days of a walk, probably after school on Thursday and Friday, and all day Saturday and Sunday. Friday night. She loves it though. I mean,
she's great.
She enjoys it.
If you come and see Abby, it's not like I'm making her be here. She's like, Mommy, is it time to sell at Yarnia yet?
She will sit there and be like, I am going to go sell these cookies outside. And then we're like, okay, don't go walking too far. And she's like, and then there's like a parade of like parents coming in and be like, I can't say no to her. Like,
very hard to say.
No, that's good. That's good. She'll start selling yarn soon too.
Oh, she does that too. She helps people pick colors, and she's actually pretty good.
Yeah, she's got a good sense of color. I think. The thing you said about camping reminds me. For Valentine's Day, Jonathan.
You got a gift certificate for camping?
No, even better, because the card that Jonathan gave me that had like a really like pretty vintage picture of like a tent and like vintage style artwork of a tent, and be like, you're the kind of person I would totally go camping with if I were the type of person to go camping. And then inside says, which I am not. And I'm like, oh, you know me so well. Because we both hate it.
I like it a lot. I like it. Before I was a Girl Scout leader, I used to say camping is staying at a hotel with no room service.
Yes, that is my opinion.
But why would you do such a thing?
Why would you do such a thing? Why would you hate yourself that much to not sleep on a nice bed?
You know, it's so funny. One of my friends who, like, and I don't know what she does so much now. She's moved away, but, traveled, like, 40 weeks out of the year. Constant, serious, heavy travel job. And, worked for a big company, had, pretty nice hotel choice and everything. She loves to camp. I'm like, I guess if you stay in nice hotels all the time, camping might be fun.
That's your every day. And outside is a novelty, and I'm like, outside has bugs. I don't like that.
Yeah, and the ground is not flat and nice and comfy. And
I want a feather bed, and I want room service, and I want cable TV.
Yeah. Nice cocktail in the hotel bar.
I will take cocktail in the hotel bar. I will take a Holiday Inn. It does not matter. You can like give me a menu to order from for delivery, and I'll be fine with that. But I want a nice bed and someone to pick up my towels who isn't me. And I will pay you money to do that.
It's not real life, yeah.
It is when you go to a hotel.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Someone picks up your towels. Anyway.
Yeah. So all you camping lovers, you've got a friend.
Yep.
I know you go with Amanda.
If you hate camping and love hotels,
if you hate camping,
Jen and Kathleen.
I will tell you all about it. I did go camping once, but it was glamping, and so we were in an outdoor tent that had no heat, and a nice large king-size bed that had a feather bed on it, a heating pad, mattress pad, and there was like an outdoor, you had to walk outside and down the path to go to the bathroom, but inside the bathroom it had heated floors and nice showers. And I was like, this is my kind of camping, which is to say, not camping.
Not really camping.
That's not camping.
I do appreciate
it's an outdoor hotel.
A bathroom, right?
Yes.
I'm not a big latrine fan.
Who is?
No. So, and like, yeah, so I'm going to Campery, actually, while you guys are at TNNA this year? Or maybe the weekend after. Maybe the weekend after. I think I'm here while you guys are at TNNA, and then the weekend after I have Girl Scout Campery. Yeah, they have toilets that flush. So
that's a big part.
That makes a big difference. Yeah, makes it tolerable.
So, now that we've digressed on camping,
really,
25 minutes, let's talk about finished objects. And should we bring in our special guest star, Beth?
Sure.
Let's do
that.
Let's do. We're gonna cut
if
here.
She's ready.
Okay.
Ready?
Hello out there.
We're back.
We're back.
We're far away, I know, but
we're back
so we can get everybody.
We've zoomed out.
Yeah.
That's true. When we've had our other guests, we have only had two of us, right?
Yeah.
So, but this time we're looking to have all three
Now
of us.
we have 4.
Our other option would be to be like the Brady Bunch and be like here, 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 and all look at each other.
And be like,
I don't know. We can keep doing
I think that would be really confusing, and Amanda would be like cursing herself in a day when she tries to edit it.
Yeah.
And
Let's
be
do
like,
that when
we'll get furious texts of like, why did you let me do this? And I'll be like, I don't know, it's your problem now, dude.
It would actually be really fun. I think that would be fun, but I would have to do it after I quit my insurance job.
There you go. Exactly. When
so
you
look for
time
it at some point in the future, and then you'll know what Amanda's up to.
Oh, there's so much. Yes. When we get twice a day Instagram posts, you'll know what I'm doing.
Anyway, let's start. We're going to introduce again. Here
I'm not quitting anytime soon. Don't worry, introduce.
Here we have Beth, who, if you guys have been in the store on the weekends, you've probably seen. And
we're the weekend ladies.
Yeah, you got the weekend team in the center. So say hi, Beth.
Hello.
In the meantime, we're going to go into our finished objects because we're actually all wearing finished objects.
And recent finished objects. Very recent.
Mine is still damp. It literally is, and it's not fully black. So I am wearing the Ursa Minor by Jacqueline Cieslak, which I'm going to stand up. You see the length.
So you can lean this way.
So cute.
I'm like,
did you did the neck the way it was written?
I did not.
Okay. Like it looks more like the way it was written than I did mine. And I'm going to change mine again.
Is that Icor?
What did you do?
No, it's similar. But so I adjusted on this. This is in the Knitted Wit Targy Bulky in Unicorn
Giggles?
Tears?
Unicorn Tears.
There we go.
Tears is the gray. That makes sense. Nightmares is the blackish background. Tears is the gray.
Yeah, Tears is like muted a little bit.
Giggles is just bright.
Giggles is like peeling.
Yeah. That was what Vivian did, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, she did Unicorn Eggs, which is the gray.
Oh, right.
The
lighter
gray.
gray.
Yeah, it's the lighter gray.
So many unicorns.
So I did this.
There's one more of them.
There is another one, right?
On my whip.
Dreams.
At least.
That's right.
Yeah.
Unicorn
Dreams. That's another one.
So I did this mostly as written. I had finished it last week with a shorter rib, and then I realized it was cute cropped with a skirt, and then I tried it on the jeans, and I was like, oh no, that is not hitting the right place.
This is a theme today.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to say the same thing about both of the sweaters. No, like, I'll talk about mine, right? Like, we're not teenagers.
No.
Teenagers can wear things here.
Yeah.
Right? That's not...
Also just what you're happy with.
And it's like,
okay.
I feel like it's a generational
happy
thing.
with
Because it's like, it's
need
not
it.
just
It's like-
about body type, because
Maybe it's I have teenagers.
I've seen
They look good.
folks with smaller bodies and folks with bigger bodies that look absolutely adorable with like a super crop top. And I'm like, that's awesome.
And
then
then style it.
on me, well, I don't know how they style it because they're all young. But like, I would wear, like, I am not.
My
I'm
position's
not
being
young.
validated.
So with this, I would wear it as is, like over like a dress or a skirt or whatever, where it hits like just at the waist. But with jeans, because my jeans, I can't do the super high rise jeans because I've already done those
They're just
before.
not comfortable. Too.
They're not comfortable. It's too much belly. I'm not doing that. I'm an apple. And so this hits just below the waistband. So I put like a tank top that comes a little bit longer underneath. And so I just extended the broken rib or garter rib, just like so rib. It's like nice. It's about 4 inches, maybe 3.5 inches of broken rib at the bottom. And then you should.
Oh, trust me, this podcast is a slippery slope.
Yes, you're gonna go downhill into the I should make that pattern. This took, all told, if you negate the place where I didn't like how I had my skeins color placement for the yoke, so I ripped it all out. I'm much happier with it now. And it was just like I picked 2 similar skeins to alternate from, and then when one ran out, I had one that was contrasting, so I could see a line there, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that. So I ripped out the yoke like at least once. And
well, you ripped out the yoke after the night you cast it on, I remember.
Yeah, the night I cast it on.
That was it.
Because I adjusted the rate of increase on the V-neck. And I added short rows.
Did you raise it?
I instead of having the V go super deep, which was as written, I started doing the increases every other row a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
So it's like steep, 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 less steep. And so it just came up a little bit higher. And I also threw in one set of short rows, and only one set because it's bulky weight yarn. So one set of short rows is about an inch, and that brought up the back to a place where I was more comfortable. I don't like it when sweaters like have the scoop in the back. That drives me bonkers. So yeah, when I did the neckline, what I did was I picked up stitches and then I picked up an extra stitch in the center. I did then as I started in the center V, and right here, and then I picked up all the way around and I ended in the center V before I went to do the bind off, which is how she suggested in the pattern. I did a center double decrease on the V stitch. So instead of having it go into a U, it kept a relatively sharp V.
Did you write this all down? Did you write these modifications down so that people like me could take advantage of them?
I did, but in my like half-assed note manner. So I can read your notes.
Now I've got
it's not quite voice to text bad, but it is a little abbreviated.
No, but this is literally why I watch podcasts. I watch
figure things out.
Skandir's podcast and Vines and Dundernuts and like hear them talk about like this is how I do stuff. It makes it when you're doing it.
You learn all the things.
Yeah, you've like already absorbed that knowledge and you don't make the mistakes that they make.
Like I knew because I've made.
Or it's not mistakes. It's just like or
tweak.
If you make these choices, you know the consequence of the choices rather than trying it all yourself.
Yeah, because if I had picked up at the center back or the back left and then gone all the way around, this would be more of a U scoop, whether you want it to be or not, because if you don't have a sharp decrease here, you can't get that steep angle. And I've made a bunch of V-neck stuff, so I know, you got to do a center double decrease.
I remember back to when I made a vest, because I did something similar. I did 3 rows of ribbing, and I did... so I did the whole way you do it, so you got the center stitch and things around, and literally reminded me of about the second thing I ever made, like right after college. Yeah. But oh my god, where did that come from? From the recesses of my memory.
I made a sweater she ever made right after the Intarsia flowers.
No, that was the third thing.
that was her third. That was third.
Can I say in that line, we had somebody come in the store yesterday who has made 2 projects, and she really wants to learn brioche. And we talked about it for a while, and I'm like, you know what? Her second project looked amazing. I'm like, let's go for it.
People are ready.
Some people just
project
really
was a
have
corner to corner baby blanket.
an intuitive understanding of knitting.
Yeah,
They really do. And
I
think she, and so she's going to do a little private lesson. We're going to see how it goes, and then she'll decide. So
my friend Amy, after I taught her how to knit, her first project was like a garter swatch, and her second project was socks. Mm-hmm. And she was fine, and she's still making them now. So
it just depends. It depends on what
she
you're.
Still has that whip. No,
no, she finished them. She's quick.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say for the bind off for this, I didn't do a standard bind off because I felt like it wasn't going to have enough stretch. It wasn't good. It wasn't going to have enough give to sit nicely. So I did the Russian lace bind off, which is the fancy way of saying the decrease bind off, where you knit two together through the back loop. It's on your right needle. You put it back on your left needle. You knit two together through the back loop. So it makes a nice little. I also did the same decrease on the bottom because
that's what I did on mine too.
I was tired.
no.
And I didn't feel like doing the sewn bind
with
off.
that variegated yarn, I don't think you're really going to see it anyway. That's why I did
Well, I
that
had
one.
done initially when I did the initial bind off on the bottom before I adjusted the length. I did a sewn bind off, which I like, and I like it on the sleeves. And I still might take it out and do another sewn bind off, but I still have to block it. I just kind of sprayed it with water and was like, smush it, and so it's still damp in the back.
Oh boy.
But that's my finished object. I also did two, because I've been not here for a couple weeks.
That's right.
What have you done in a month, Jen?
I did this.
Hasn't she?
I also did two hats for my father-in-law. One out of the Northlight Water Street DK, which is just
that's nice.
The yummiest
delicious.
merino
It's
cashmere.
the
That's
best.
nice.
And one out of the Cumulus, which still don't love working with cotton, and I don't love cotton for a hat, but it was the request. So, but it came out beautifully. It was super soft.
And I feel like I don't love knitting cotton either. Like if I have cotton,
Cumulus
I
is nice.
prefer to crochet. Usually, I made a sweater out of the Cumulus, and it was
It's so
fine.
nice.
It really was.
super soft.
It was
And that
relatively
new shawl
easy to
sample
work
that
with.
we have.
Yes.
We have a shawl sample.
Love it
that's
so
gorgeous.
much.
It's gorgeous.
So
Orange
big
is
and
not my
squishy.
color; it's Kathleen's color. But I don't care. I wear that shawl anyway because it is just delicious. I love it.
Yeah.
It feels
It's
so
lovely
nice.
and
It
drapey.
really does.
So, Amanda, what do you have
What do I
finished?
have? Well, like I said, this podcast is a slippery slope.
I love this. It's so pretty.
All podcasts are slippery slopes. Like, let's be
They really
serious. Okay, first, Jen, I'm gonna say that I'm gonna give it to you. You first made the Felix cardigan.
Yes.
Right, and then
I got it.
So pretty. I love it.
Felix cardigan.
out of Manos
Alegria
del
Grande.
Uruguay, Alegria Grande.
Yes.
Yeah, in coal color.
Yes.
Or foil. I think it's foil.
Foil?
It's coal.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I
Foil
wrote
is
the wrong
lighter
thing
gray.
down.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I think
it
you're
is
right.
coal.
I think
I
it is
think the
coal.
tag is wrong.
No, because I wrote it. I'm sure it's wrong.
Yeah,
I'm
it is
sure
coal.
it's wrong.
It's coal. You're right. That's
Yeah, I
the
think it's
darker
coal.
gray.
Yeah. So this was the first time I saw Felix, and then last fall,
I'm gonna put this over.
Dundernet did a Felix cardigan, and then Vollenvine.
She just did one
Did-
pretty recently.
Yeah, well, she
Pullover,
started it in
right?
the fall,
Oh, okay.
and then finished. So then Vollenvine did it, and she had a sort of tweedy-ish, but it
Pretty
still-
brown. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it was
saw that.
brown
yeah.
with some tweedy-ish. It was sort of it was a wool and acrylic blend. I forget, but it looked lovely. And
It
I
looked
was
like it had a bit of a halo too, didn't it?
yeah, a little bit. So I saw that, and I'm like, I'm living in a sweatshirt right now, and I really want another
It's kind
sweatshirt.
of like a slightly more fancy
So
sweatshirt.
this is a
right?
sweatshirt. Yeah. So this is the Felix pullover.
So pretty.
Like I
Very
said,
nice.
like I was saying when Jen was talking about it, the design is like up here, which is fine. But I just, yeah, I put it on. Actually, what I did was I took one of the sweatshirts that I really like that fits me where I wanted it to fit me, and I measured it from the top of the neck to the bottom of the hem, and just used that for the back measurement
Excellent.
down the center.
Yeah, that's a really
That's
good
a really
idea.
good. Take something, anything that you that
you
fits
like
the
the
way
fit
you
of.
want,
Yeah.
and match those measurements.
Yep. Because I think from the underarm to the where you start the ribbing was supposed to be 9 inches, but different. Like my sweatshirt fit differently. Like
Yeah, sometimes
the
the arm
underarm
is much
was
closer
up
to your
higher.
underarm. Yeah.
So if I had done an underarm measurement, it would have been a lot. It would have.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been correct. This one has a little bit more of a drop, and I think I was thinking about it. I think it's because of the way that these increases are done, the eyelets, right? Like you got to finish an eyelet between each size, or I guess you don't have to.
Well, it's the amount of ease you have underneath the underarm is essentially a function of the yoke depth of the sweater.
Yeah.
So that is from either the back neck to the divide or the front neck to the divide, and actually those two numbers should be different. The back neck should be higher than the front neck.
And this one does have short rows. It has 8. It has 4 back and forths for an 8 total.
So that's 8 short rows.
Yeah. And this is what I said. I think this would be a great first sweater, except you should come to intermediate class or for a class to do those 8 rows. Like, come to class and do those 8 rows because you're doing short rows at the same time you're doing
the
raglans, and the raglans are on both the front and the back side.
Yeah, it's a little tricky. And also this...
It just takes some paying attention to, and if you've never done those, just
and
do 8 rows.
these raglan lines, it's a little bit harder to...
They've got like these little
feathery fan sweet little eyelet detail.
So pretty.
But the eyelets kind of flare out. Yep. So it's actually a little bit trickier to kind of like intuit. Like these raglan lines, they're straight lines. Granted, there are 3 stitches in between them, but they're straight lines. So they're never moving. But this one, it's like, wait, I'm doing the yarn over here, and I'm doing the yarn over here. So it just requires a little bit of thought.
Yeah. But certainly once I got here, which is where I was in the last podcast, I just divided for the sleeves and had no sleeves on it. Yeah. Then I was on 10 hours of conference calls in the next 3 days.
Body done.
And finished the whole body. And then was on, 2 hours of conference calls and finished a sleeve and a 2.5 hour call, sleeve and a 2.5 hour call. So, it was just like, this zoomed through because it was on a 10. So, and I did.
And what yarn?
This is the Lucky Tweed by Kelborn Woolens. It does not.
So
when I was doing the mitten sample that's in the store, I was like, this has no prickle, like 0. I don't know how much.
It looks like it will, and it
exactly.
doesn't. Yeah.
I will say it has texture. Texture is not the same as prickle.
Yeah, true. True.
Yeah, so it has texture. It's not like this is a little. Target even has a little bit, but like Kathleen, yours is.
This is the Montage DK. This has 0
very
prickle
smooth.
too.
Yeah. Both of them I think have 0 prickle, but that's a smooth round yarn. Yeah. Whereas this one is not smooth and round. It's tweedy.
Soft though.
Yeah,
it's pure Irish wool. Donegal Irish.
But they must comb the heck out of this because there is there's no guard hairs in this at all. There's no prickle.
It's so nice.
There's a teeny bit of vegetable matter because I'm using it too.
I agree.
But I just pick it out as I go. And it's very little. It's very little.
Yep. So. I did, and let's be real, in a house with 6 kids and a dog, I've got something matter in my sweaters all the time anyway.
All kinds of matter. You might be adding some vegetable matter to your yarns.
So I did a sewn bind off on my sleeves. And
sewn bind off or tubular?
I did whichever one you Kitchener.
Tubular.
Whatever. Okay, yeah.
Sewn is it's different.
Sewn is different.
Sewn is different.
So I did tubular. Yeah, okay. So I did tubular here. I did a tubular cast on when I started at the neck. And then I don't care on the bottom. So I did standard bind off. So there you go.
So you're like, screw your bottom.
Well, usually, I'll talk when we get to whips about when I chose not to do that. Or when I will choose not to do that because it turns out I pulled back a bind off, and I'm definitely going to do a tubular bind off on my other whip.
And I'm going to make a Felix now. You've convinced me.
Now I'm like,
so good. It's like
I was thinking about a Felix too,
it's like
but I really like it in the
Felix cardigan.
It's a sweatshirt.
So I'm going to do the gold.
Felix
I'm going to do the gold.
Steaked.
Yeah, that would be nice. It's so funny. I was thinking I would do the cardigan probably because I love it. I love the detail, the way the raglan is. But well, we'll get to it when I show it. I feel like more like I would actually wear a pullover, so I may actually do it as a pullover.
That's my thing. I think right now I want to wear pullovers. Do you want me to talk about my other finished object?
Yeah. Talk about your other finished object, and then Beth can also talk about a tubular bind off.
And we're going to talk about, Beth and I are both going to talk about these socks. Yes.
Mine are still a whip.
These are, and I have another picture. These are the Red Robin socks by...
And every time I look at the...
Helen Stewart. By Helen Stewart. From the first sock. This is the last sock and the first sock society.
We got our new socks today.
We did. I have an update on that. So this is the Red Robin sock. It's the last sock and the first Sock Society. Right. So it's a collection of 6 socks when they were released, which was in 2018. I remember that because I did such a good job before Charlie was born in keeping up every month, and then he was born and I didn't knit anymore.
You're like, hey.
But I went back this year because I got this. This is the BFL from, I think it's BFL from Oink. Yeah, and this is the Hufflepuff color. Mm-hmm. So which I got from her first trunk show here, and I was like, I really want to make socks with that, and I thought this would be a great pattern. It's just a little texture, doesn't compete with a quite variegated yarn.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, like this isn't.
They work nicely together.
This isn't as variegated as like a unicorn.
Every stitch is a different color.
Yeah,
yes,
which is part of the fun of that.
Yeah, but I feel like if you were making socks with the colors like this, it might as well be plain vanilla.
Oh
just
yeah,
let the,
you're never gonna see.
Let the yarn shine. But this one has, you know, it's variegated for sure. But yeah, you can still see texture in it. So those are my socks.
Very
and then the heels, toes, and cuffs are in a knitted wit. What do you call those? Gumball.
Little mini guys.
Yep. And one gumball did the heels, toes, and cuffs of one sock.
Oh well, that's nice.
Very nice. Yeah.
So 2 gumballs.
Perfect.
And you're like at the end on a medium sock, which mine is a 62.
Yeah.
Is this a 62 inch or 62 stitch sock? And I knit my socks on a US. Well, most companies would say a US 1.5, but I use Addy, so it's a US 1. 2.5 millimeter.
Check your millimeters.
Yeah, 2.5
when
millimeter.
you get down to those tiny sizes.
Well, Addy's
difference.
ones are 2.5s. Everybody else in the world has 2.25. I feel like for US ones.
Yeah, they pretty much do.
So gotta be special.
Can I see this for a second?
Yeah.
How did you do the pickup on your heel? Because mine doesn't have this here. Like, how come yours has the...
So I knit in the back loop when I do my pickup.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
Very interesting. Mine does not look like that.
Do you do a slip
I love
stitch
the
edge
contrasting
on the heel?
Yeah. I do a slip
I really
stitch
do. I
edge,
just think
and then I pick up those slips,
gives it such a
and then I
fun
knit
look.
the back loop.
So you don't pick up the whole slip, you pick up one strand?
Yeah.
Oh, through the back. Oh, that's smart. Maybe I'll try for my
Jen
next
shakes
one.
her head, no.
I know.
She's like, no. It's like me with my button bands. She's like, oh, no.
No, actually, so somebody came in. Somebody
You
came
can
in.
make your own choices. That's
Yes,
okay.
yes.
This is not bad.
I happen to like this. I think it's kind of...
I think it looks neat.
Yeah.
It's fine, but it's not the way you're supposed to pick up stitches.
Nope.
Okay. That was
Which I just,
like, when I do
which I just learned from one of your students who came in and needed help picking up stitches, and I was like looking at what, and I was like, oh, so that's how you do it.
Two strands, people. So I'm going to say this. It's not that you're making a bad decision or you're making a wrong decision, but, you know, as I tell my kids, it's like, you can make whatever choices you want. You just have to live with the consequences of your actions. So if you pick up one strand, you might get something thready. You might not.
Yeah,
But
well,
you might get
that's
something
exactly why I
thready.
knit through the back loop, because then it twists it.
Yes.
and-
Right.
So
I
you're
like
knitting
those
through the
looks,
back loop
actually.
of your single strand will twist it, makes like a little kind of diagonal line. That will keep you from getting holes in it.
Certainly.
But it is also not necessarily the most sturdy seam
Yeah.
or sturdy joint.
I've never had a problem with it.
Yeah, so that's the thing.
If
you're willing to
Maybe
live
partly with your tension and everything too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it all
And
kind of works
socks-
together.
Socks are knitting super dense anyway, so it's
Yeah.
not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But when you go to do the same thing on
The underarms of a sweater, like
Definitely
you're picking
both.
up your
Yeah,
stitch.
yeah.
Even I do both there.
Well, but I
front
learned
button
something
bands.
new.
Not always.
Yeah.
anything that's under a lot of tension, if you're doing
No.
top down sleeves.
But I actually didn't understand the whole pick up and knit in the same motion.
Yeah.
Because I always slipped one strand of each one on my
And then
needle and
twisted
then
it.
knitted them all.
So that's picking up stitches.
Yeah, I picked up things.
But then
I did
there's
not.
picking up and knitting where you dive your needle into the fabric, pull a loop up with the working yarn, and
Yeah.
then you have a
Right.
stitch on, and that's different.
That should be
Oh,
on
that's
our
what
list.
I've been doing with mine.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Right. I didn't know how to do that until a few weeks ago.
But again, if you want to make your choice, you know what it looks like.
Well,
you try
it
it
wasn't
out.
a choice.
Is
It
that
was
a cocktail?
ignorance. Yes,
But
it is.
sometimes
These are Kathleen's sock blockers.
But sometimes that
Or is it
works.
my
So,
sister Irene?
I love them.
so long
From
as
a while ago. Aren't they cute?
Yeah, they're really cute.
never
Love my
seen
team.
I don't know where they're from. I've had them for a
really
long
funny.
time.
I love
Adorable.
them.
We
Yeah,
should put that
really
on
fun.
our tutorials.
Yes.
Video.
Pick up
Yep.
stitches.
Yeah.
I'm writing it down. Not that I'll remember it.
I'll remember.
Give
And
it
if
to me,
anybody
I'll
wants a
file
tutorial on what not to do, let me know. I'll show you what you're not supposed to do.
You can do it if you're happy with the end result.
Exactly.
But you're going to show it to me and say, I'm doing it right, and I'm going to say, no, you're not. But that's okay, because I'm happy with that end result.
Okay, I just got shamed on my socks.
They look beautiful.
They do. And if it works for you,
it works for you,
it totally
it's
works for
fine.
me.
You live with the consequences of your actions. And your consequences are a gorgeous
such a
pair,
mom.
but a gorgeous pair of socks.
Yes,
So that's a good consequence.
That actually would look very nice with Beth's sweater, too.
There
The
you go.
colors.
Oh,
There's a lot of them.
You do
Totally.
coordinate. All right, so
Yeah.
speaking of Beth's sweater,
Exactly. With that lead in.
tell us about your sweater.
This is my dude. I started this in
Love it.
October.
It's so
This is
fun.
the sweater that Jeff Bridges wears in the movie The Big Lebowski. I
Not
started
the actual
this-
sweater.
Not the actual sweater.
But apparently that was his actual sweater.
That was his actual
He owned
sweater.
his wardrobe.
Right.
Oh,
And
really?
This is,
yeah.
This is the Knitter's Dude, which is the version with the buttons. And should I show the back?
Yeah,
Or should
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, so when Vivian joined us in January, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Recently, in a recent episode.
she was working on.
I don't know. How do you get it into the...
That's it.
Am I yes?
Yes, you're right. Look at how beautiful.
So pretty. And I love your colors, Beth.
I started
love
this
them so much.
twice. I started it twice because of the tubular cast on and all that stuff. And then I pulled 31 rows of my color work
Wow.
twice.
Wow.
Twice?
Twice.
I thought it was
pulled,
just once.
Nope. I pulled 31 rows. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it took me I started in October,
Right.
right? And then I started it and started again. And then there was the color thing. This was not the original color. It was picking the
That's
colors.
right, you changed the color.
Yeah.
What
I
was,
changed
what was
the
your
color.
original color?
I don't. It was like
You had a red.
I was looking. It
You
was
had
the
a couple of different
Germantown,
combos,
it was
right?
A
Yeah.
reddish, or it was a few
And you had
things.
something with maybe some teal, right? Was teal?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
yes,
wow.
I did. I was doing
Teal.
teal. Now I will
Oh my
say
goodness,
this:
I missed this.
had I done it in another yarn, like the Germantown, I probably wouldn't have had like the issues with the steeking. Which I mean, there weren't like issues, but the
There
issue,
were big issues.
there
So
were
you-
huge issues.
You and
but-
Vivian both steeked your sweaters.
At midnight one night.
At the same
did.
time.
It was fun.
It was quite scary. You have video of that?
Yeah.
Wait, you?
I
How did
linked
you?
to it a few podcast episodes ago.
Yeah.
How did you reinforce your steek?
Okay, so
Well,
because
why do you need to reinforce your steak, Jen?
You need to
Tell us.
reinforce.
You
Well,
don't really need
technically,
to, right?
Yeah, you don't need
Well,
to.
though, this is super
this is
Superwash.
superwash.
So you used the diamond
The
superwash.
diamond superwash. Yeah.
So with the superwash yarn or a non wool
scoop
yarn,
that
you need to, I wasn't sure, you need to reinforce your steek so it doesn't come undone. That said, if you're using like the Lucky Tweed
Oh,
or
no,
this,
not
you
Lucky
don't need
Tweed.
to reinforce it.
Right.
It
It
makes
still makes you feel better, right?
Yeah.
I feel better.
I can't
I was
imagine
scared,
cutting
but
my
this you
knitting
do. I
without
mean, I-
reinforcing.
that one.
This you
That
do.
one you absolutely
Right.
do.
You
I
had
was
to,
scared,
yeah.
and I was worried. I'm still worried it's going to fall apart. Actually, I've read a
think
couple of
it's
blogs
okay.
that were like, my sweater fell apart. But what I did was which was scarier than cutting, I put it in a sewing machine. And
Yours
when-
is never coming apart.
Yeah, exactly.
but when it
exactly.
went through the sewing machine, I got it crooked, and then it like jumped, and the
yeah.
bobbin flew. You know, like things happened. So then after that, I crocheted it in. Now I'm not going to really show you the insides because it's kind of horrific. But
You
I
can't
am
see from that far away.
Okay, good.
It's
Well,
okay.
And
don't
it
worry.
looks
See,
nice.
it looks great from this far
I'm
away.
ordering on Etsy beautiful
Ribbon to cover it. Nice.
I'm gonna get like a velvet ribbon, and
pretty.
I'm gonna cover it up
So
because I'm done
pretty.
with looking
That's
at it
good.
because
And
it's
then
driving
we'll-
me crazy.
It is.
Yeah.
It definitely bothers you.
It bothers
I know
me,
it does, yeah.
but and I'm gonna fix up my buttons. But at the moment, I back buttoned.
Oh, nice.
My buttons.
That's a great idea.
That is
That's a good
so
idea.
smart.
Because sometimes if you use 50-year-old thread that you found in your grandmother's case of needles, and it's silk, it will fly right out, no matter what you do, and no matter what knots you do. So I put back buttons on these.
It's good practice anyway.
Yes.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It makes your makes the button band not like pucker. It
Yeah.
makes it
Yeah.
not
Right.
get those
Oh, and
divots.
another thing
So
I did.
when should you use those back buttons?
You can use the back buttons anytime you're
it
on
just
like
secures them.
yeah, it
Yeah.
just secures them. Or if you have like a sweater or a coat that has a lot of wear,
Right.
it helps keep the stress
Strengthens it.
off of
Yeah.
the fabric that the needle
That
and the
makes sense.
thread goes
Yeah.
through. It just
Yeah.
it gives you a little something extra to go against.
Yeah. I mean, I would not recommend doing this in a superwash. Like, I would never again do this in a superwash.
But it looks so pretty.
But I do love
You
it.
like the palette.
And when
Because
I,
of the steaking.
because of the, yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right.
Just because of the steaking. But I took Jen's advice. So when I blocked this, and I knew this was going to happen, So the sleeves are supposed to hang like this. I've been wearing them like this. I took pictures with Vivian this morning, and she's like, pull your sleeves down. So they're supposed to be like this. What I would do if I did this again in a wool, non-superwash, I would do thumb holes. I'm not willing to stick a thumb hole in these because the superwash.
I wouldn't.
But I would have done thumb holes with this when I soaked this. It really grew. So I put it on wet, and it was really long. So I took Jen's advice. I took my sweater bag from my Cocoa Knit Sweater Care Kit,
which is a fantastic.
I've been taking pictures. I should send you. I do different stages of all the products. So for the first time, I took out the sweater bag, and I put my sweater in like a soldier. Like I folded it up, and I put the arms in, and I put it in for 15 minutes
in the dryer.
Is
that what the sweater bag's for?
The sweater bag's for washing.
It's for washing.
But I mean, you can use it in the dryer.
So
it doesn't.
She said, this one said, if it's superwash, you can stick it in, and she was right. 15 minutes, and I walked away. I walked away.
You walked away. I'm so proud.
I walked away because no matter how much, it was interesting because the sleeves. And then I laid it down again, and I used my pop-up for the Cocoa Knits. My pop-up
has a pop-up, so the air circulating underneath.
That
exactly.
might have made your sweater dry.
Yeah,
it might have.
Yeah, No, this dried so quickly, except those sleeves, and they were still a little damp when I put them on. But it really bounced back after I put them on. It does,
right?
Do you know what I've been doing lately to make things dry faster with blocking? I've been throwing it in my washer on gentle cycle to spin.
Oh, I do that all the time.
I never used to do it. I did it with my Staring at Stars.
Yeah.
And it was that one actually got too big when I first blocked it. So that one I did in the washer. I didn't wash it in the washer. I spun it out. Yeah. And then I dried it also. And I did 5 minutes. I'm like, it's just leave it. Just go.
Yeah.
But I love you probably told me about it. That's probably where I got the idea.
I do it for everything.
But this dried in less than 24 hours, which and it was not dry when it was doing it, but it is amazing how much more water will spin out.
Because wool will hold on to moisture like you wouldn't believe. Superwash or not. So the one thing you could do with that, if you wanted to add the thumb holes, you could just snip a stitch.
I know.
No, wait, unroll your
I thought about it.
Give me.
You could reinforce it from the back.
You don't have to. No, not even reinforce it. Snip a stitch right here, rip it, and then pull it off so you have live stitches, and then knit your cuff down and knit your thumb hole that way.
I could do that. I will tell you.
Because that's 40 stitches, maybe?
I mean, I'm still in the middle of all the finishing and all that, so I could do it.
And then you do a tubular bind off again.
Due to the no winter weather we're having, I'm wearing a tank top, people. I cannot.
You don't need a super warm sweater.
It's really warm. I can't really fit it underneath my coat, which is fine. And I have another finished object that I didn't bring, but it was my campsite cardigan, which I made over a year and a half ago. So I did finish 2 sweaters.
That's awesome.
Started the 3rd in February, but I'm still kind of working on my finishing. So
just to talk about the tubular bind off, you did a tubular bind off on that shawl collar. How many stitches are on that thing?
It was a nightmare.
It was hundreds.
So
right?
it was
So
I technically finished the sweater. I went to the city and did this and sewed it at my mom's house. So I was done, and I had steeked it. And I think at least 4 weeks passed by where I just had it on the needles. So I had it on 2 very long needles.
Yeah.
And then I Kitchenered it, and it was a very, very, very long grafting process. It was over.
But it looks so good.
It was $290 something or $300. It was well worth it. It's really nice and
it's a nice
fancy,
finish.
and it's a really it's a great sweater.
I'm telling you,
super happy with it.
Cut,
Dude,
just shorten the sleeves to cut them, and then knit back and forth.
I would say you could do a little piece of felt or something on the inside, sew it. We could do a nice little embroidery thing over it, and slice between the 2 columns stitches.
You could do that too.
I still could do that.
Consideration.
I would help you.
I know you have options.
Yes. I will say this: once you've steeked, if you haven't steeked before, regardless if it's on superwash, you just want to steek.
You just want to cut everything.
I want to do everything. I want to make the Felix. I want to steek it and make a cardigan.
You're like, can I cut this one? I can cut this one.
It's catchy. And actually, Amanda and I are starting another steek sweater together.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that on the needles, right?
Yeah.
Ish.
So,
Ish. Slash newish store.
Slash Newin store. That'll be our transition to Newin store. Kathleen, what do you have on the fly?
I have my love note.
Yay!
Beautiful. So I was auditing Jen's sweater class, and the love note is the project.
She graduated early.
She did graduate early.
Because I did this crazy thing of finishing 3 sweaters in February.
You got it done.
I'm still... It's still a possibility. Yeah. It is still a possibility.
You have a couple more days.
Yeah. You'll see on the needles.
If we count my, what do you call it? The onska?
Mm-hmm.
If that counts, then I'll finish 3 sweaters in February too.
Yeah, you can count that.
So I did this in Mad Tosh DK in the color Jupiter's Moon Callisto.
This is a beautiful color.
I love.
So
it's so pretty. Thank you.
I'm glad you picked that one.
I'm really happy with it.
Really nice.
I wasn't completely convinced, but I'm like, it's a light background. It's got a few pops of color. I love it. I really, really love it. I tried this on a number of times as I was making it. I put it on a long cord and it was fitting a little snug, but I wanted it to be fitted. I didn't want it to be, it was a choice to not make it too oversized. I did not wind up doing short rows in the back of the neck. It feels like it's sitting comfortably. I haven't worn it a whole lot. I did a split hem, which is not how the pattern is written, but that was one of the things we talked about.
Right, that looks really nice.
We talked about a couple of options.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, we talked about a couple of options to kind of customize your sweater. Short rows in the back, changing your neck, which is in the pattern. The pattern has short rows to dip the back down,
which
you can leave out.
Want to do.
Or you could do the split hem.
I like the split hem, and one of the nice things about the split hem is that it does seem to fit nicely with this as the front, so that making the back slightly longer lets me know very easily which side is the front.
You don't have to do the leg.
The little extra tag thing.
I need to do the little tag.
I always think about doing it, and I don't do it.
I have a bunch of I did a bunch of them one day. Like after we did a podcast where Jen talked about it, I'm like, it's such a good idea. And I just went home and did
a little piece of bright sock yarn and then just go through all of them.
I had some 14 left over, and it's nice and puffy, but it's pretty. Like when you do it, it's pretty compact. It disappears, but it's easy to see inside of the object.
It came out beautifully.
That's great.
Thank you. I'm really happy with it. I really am.
I'm
happy with the fit. I'm happy with the length.
I love it. It's such a great sweater.
I did omit the. I omitted some of the extra rows before the lace, which we also talked about to bring the lace up a little bit. And because I tried it on and I was pretty happy with where the underarms were hitting, I didn't add them back in.
You don't need to.
I just did the raglans right away. Yeah. So if you want to make a fitted version, it's not the way the pattern's written, but certainly an option.
I like the way that sets.
Yeah, it sets really nice,
happy
right?
Really happy with it. So
nice.
Thank you.
We're looking over there because the mohair version is behind me.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
that's what everybody's
the
like.
Original in the
store.
store.
So if you want to do without the mohair, you do a DK.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
or
what
I'm doing. I'll show you.
Or tooth fingering. Right.
Yeah. Do you have any more finished objects?
I do not. This is my one.
Then that's a good transition.
I wore my Ursa Minor last time.
Is there going to be
we'll go to my other one, which is Kathleen did hers in DK. Her love note in DK, and then we have other students in the class who are doing it as written with a fingering and a mohair held together.
Oh, and some of the color combos are
they're beautiful.
They're just stunning.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing mine with fingering held double, and there's 1 or 2 folks in class who are also doing that. So this is mine.
I love it. It's such
my
a pretty
top. This is 2 strands of Madeline Tosh sock arch. I think it is. And
that's
so
really pretty.
I have.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Got pinks and blues.
I'm unsure about the length of it.
We don't have any more of that color.
Yeah, we do.
We do.
We do. I'm unsure about the length of it, but I'm going to stop and I'm going to do the neckline next. And then I'm going to try the sucker on and see where I want it to hit.
Oops.
I meant to turn off my watch so it would stop beeping. I'm really sorry.
It's okay.
So once I get the neckline done, I'm going to try it on and see where I want it to hit or throw a lifeline in. So I have that, and then
I don't see it.
it might. I don't know where it was. There were 6, and I put a bunch more out.
Maybe you're so popular.
I wanna
maybe people saw it and already bought it.
Maybe.
I know.
Well, yeah, right. I'm just gonna get it from rearrange.
I also have a brioche hat that my 11-year-old was like, hey, remember when I went to that trunk show with you and
Yarn Over New York
and picked out red and black? When am I getting that hat? I'm like, it's 60 degrees out. So I guess I better get on it. So it's just going to be a simple beanie. He wants it fitted. He doesn't want it cuffed up. So I'm almost ready to start the decreases, which means I have to figure out which decreases I'm doing and how many decrease points. But I'll figure that out. But this is the Yarn Over New York DK.
Her yarn's so nice.
It's
I love it.
so nice. It's so squashy. I love it.
Jonathan, I have a whole rainbow of these, but then Eric wanted that rainbow. Germantown. Even he's like, I want Germantown.
Jonathan was watching me brioche, and he was like, how are you doing that? It's a magic trick. I'm like, dude, like, who did you... I'm like, come on, you've seen me knit before. And he's like, but it's 2 colors. Like, what? I'm like, oh my lord. I'm like, you've learned nothing from me. Anyway. So, Amanda, what do you have on your needles?
Wait, is there a pattern for that?
No.
Okay, so Jen,
She's
you're making
it
the closest pattern is there's a Harlow hat. Is a simple brioche beanie. It's very simple. It's very similar.
Right?
Andrea Mowry.
Yeah. I'll put a similar to
close.
In
Similar
the links
to.
below. I'm not going to put it on the screen.
It's actually a Harlow hat is actually a really good first brioche pattern, especially if you want to tackle decreases. A brioche cowl is the easiest.
Yes.
Brioche pattern.
Right, for sure.
But
No decrease.
and I did do a 2-color Italian tubular cast on the bottom.
Wow.
But
very nice.
that's relatively straightforward for brioche, and Andrea Mowry has a great tutorial on that if you need it.
Nice.
Cool.
Okay.
So now what's on your needles?
Now what's on my needles? Oh, the first. Okay, we were talking about unicorn. What do you have?
I have unicorn
Tears.
Yeah, I have unicorn dreams on the bottom.
Ooh,
okay.
So pretty.
So this is mine. This is my counterpart to Jen. Finished her Targi Bulky, knitted bit Targi Bulky sweater, and Kathleen finished her knitted bit Targi Bulky sweater, and this is my knitted bit Targi Bulky sweater.
Pretty.
This is Metropolis by Tanis Lavallee.
I like the turtleneck.
Yeah,
So pretty.
It's so cozy. Speaking of 60-degree days, if we don't get some colder ones. Okay, so after I finished Felix on my conference calls, I started on this one because I also, if you remember last week, I had just the top of this one done as well. Last time, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, and now I'm done.
It's so
well,
pretty.
I finished it last night, and I've started binding off, and I bound off about.
That's awesome.
I bound off about 2/3 of it, and then I was like, let me try this on and see how I like it. And like we were talking about length, right? I just felt like I needed another 3 inches.
Yeah.
So I took the bind off, and this is going to be quite a bit lower than even the Felix is. It's going to be like past the edge of your bum curve. You know, like when
It'll
you
be
start
a longer,
pockets,
like
kind
dip
of
it, yeah,
not quite
Like over your hips.
yeah,
or
but
the-
even beyond over your hips
Right.
a little bit. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be like tunic.
You have to wear it next time.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
it's
I
not,
will wear
if
it
it's
next
not
time.
80 degrees.
Yeah, not
Put the AC
over
on
your
there.
whole bum, but like 70% of the way down.
Like your jeans pocket.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Really
I just
pretty.
felt like I needed a little bit more length. Yeah.
I love the way
Tanis is
the-
a tiny thing.
She's a wee little thing.
Yeah, but I
love
top
the way it's
fits-
pooling too. It is
Right,
just
it is pooling.
It looks like marbles.
I
or
didn't
something.
even notice it until I put it on.
But I love it.
It's fabulous.
Great.
It's really, really good.
but the
And with the drizzle in it too,
Yeah.
it just really adds something.
So the top fits beautifully. The arms are just like a perfect decrease, frequency. And these are, I always have my stitch markers on to show where I'm decreasing. And this is a Jen trick also. I leave in my,
I was going to ask about that.
yeah, this is where I had, put my stitches on hold for the sleeves. And I just leave them on as a lifeline.
And you can measure.
Yeah.
So in case you screw up your decreases, you can yank it back. With
Look
the
at that.
cubic.
I forgot to pick one up.
Oh.
You can fix that.
Well, of course I'm going to fix it. I'm not going to leave this red here forever, but damn it.
Oops.
Well, I just noticed that, obviously. Anyway.
You might even be able to hook it all the way. Pretty far down.
You just work it.
Yeah, I'm not
just work it
going. No. Because
work
I
it.
also have
I
a
love
tubular
these two
bind off on
together.
it.
Oh yeah, no, you're not undoing the tubular
Yeah,
bind
no,
off. That's a
work
pain
it
in the
in.
neck to undo.
Yeah.
And plus, it's mohair, and so like
Yeah,
unpicking all this
forget
way
that.
would like be
No,
really
no,
No,
impossible.
it would tangle.
Yeah.
Even unpicking the bind off last night was really challenging.
Sure.
Yeah, I was like pulling on it because it gets fuzzed
The
together.
fluff goes together.
Yeah.
Kind of
But
immediately.
it's so pretty.
So this is
It's
Targi
really
Bulky,
pretty.
knitted but Targi Bulky, held together with a strand of drizzle, which I have to
Great
say,
idea.
like
That's the mohair silk.
it's the mohair silk, $10 a skein, right?
Can't beat it.
And it is so nice. It is so nice. Why do we sell it for that amount? I don't know.
I love it.
It's such a good deal.
I love this pattern too. I saw the one that Tanis had done where she took sock yarn, fingering weight. You're like squishing it like a hat.
I know.
It feels so good.
She did a marled Metropolis with 4 strands of fingering weight held together, and it was like, it's gorgeous.
Wow.
It's so pretty.
It's really
but
nice.
I love this one.
And it's on a 10. Well, it's meant to be on an 11 because the body is knit on an 11, and then you've got an 8mm, right? And then these ribbings, and this is done on a 7mm. Or no, wait, this rib is done on a 7mm, and then these ribbings on a 6mm. A 7mm is a
875 or something?
10.75.
Yeah.
875.
Anyway, right?
875 is a 7.5mm. But yeah, we actually did just get some of them because of the sweater. Because I was like,
so now you're
Which is
making.
good because now I might want to make one.
Yeah.
I have the needles.
So when you're making your Metropolis and you can't find a 10.75 needle,
You know where to go.
we have them.
we have, well, it's not just this one either. It's like the sweaters by Petite Knit are all
Yeah, a
done
lot of
on
the
a
European
7mm,
patterns,
7.5,
because
7.5
They use
millimeter.
the metric sizes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like instead of having 2mm between a 10 and an 11, which makes no sense.
Yeah,
That's
it's
so
a huge
annoying.
gap.
Or
Or a
but
4mm.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
So
It's so pretty.
This will be done like.
It's like ice cream.
And
Yeah.
also, I had done like a
Gelato.
standard, just a regular bind
It's
off on
heavy.
this.
Wow.
It's very heavy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, because I used 2 full skeins of the
Targi.
light color. This is
Dusty Sophisticate.
Dusty Sophisticate, which
So
is a
beautiful.
lovely color.
Pretty.
And then I've used 1 skein, and I just started the 2nd skein of Unicorn Dreams.
Mm-hmm. Love
So
it.
pretty.
So pretty. And at least one customer is making it also in the Tarky Bulky, but without the mohair.
Yep.
And it is
Yeah.
also beautiful. I mean,
Yeah.
but this, it just takes it to
Yeah,
another
it's
level.
really-
It's
It's
really
crazy
gorgeous.
how
I
gorgeous
was
it
not
is.
getting gauge in a fabric that I like
Yeah.
Right,
without
that's right. I
the
remember you
and
said that. Yeah.
That helped me get
Mhm.
gauge.
Just get you to where you need it to be.
Yep.
So what kind of bind off are you going to do? You said you
I'm
did
gonna do
a
a tubular.
standard one?
Yeah, because I
Okay.
did the standard, and it, a lot of times, like on this one, with the way that this yarn is and the not so stretchiness, and there's only that much ribbing, right? It doesn't matter that much. But this one, you've got all this ribbing, and to have the bind off interrupt that ribbing with a straight line,
It just makes
Yeah,
it a nice
yeah,
you need-
rounded edge. It
Makes
goes
sense.
right into it's
Yeah.
very
It
invisible.
maintains the look of the ribbon.
it was really
Yeah.
noticeable when I did it with the standard bind off. So I was like, okay, I'm not doing that.
Lesson learned. Yep.
I will be with you on many stitches.
Kitchener.
Kitchener.
That okay.
Kitchener that bugger together.
Do you want to see my other in progress?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I
I'm
love
knocking
this.
things
I love
off
this.
tables.
So I'm gonna have this. This will be done this week for sure. I'll wear it next time. Okay. Not in progress yet, but we talked about Helen Stewart's new patterns coming. Well, I have the
Did you already start?
no, but I have
It
the
just came
Sock
out
Society
Yes.
number 3. I didn't do it last year. I had a less than 1-year-old, but now I have a 20-month-old. And so I have the Sock Society number 3. And the first socks came out today because we're recording on Tuesday. But I think I'm going to use
I
this
love
Tosh
you've
sock
already chosen.
asphalt. Yeah.
love
I
asphalt.
came in
just
here
so pretty.
saw. I have to look in my stash first.
and this is a
Ooh, I
gray.
love
It
that.
has a little teal in it. A
Little bit of red.
A
It's
little
so
bit
pretty.
of red.
That's what Sophia is doing her love note in.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
someone who's doing a
Folding
love
it
note
double,
in
yeah.
asphalt double.
It looks gorgeous. I love her taste. I
Yeah.
always want to steal her finished objects.
Well, it's really interesting. Last time I did Helen Stewart's socks, and like I said, this was from the first Sock Society. I used a lot of my stash yarn, and I used some store yarn as well. I really like a bulkier round sock yarn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like knitted wit. I'll probably do all of them this year in Tosh sock, knitted wit, and Ancient Arts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the
They've got
roundest.
nice body to
Yeah.
them. They've got
And
substance.
also all those socks are generally lace. Like I said, this is a pretty plain pattern for Sock Society.
The new one's a little similar.
Yeah.
Like the look you saw, right? Like
I saw it. The luminosity.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Luminary.
Luminary.
Luminary is the first pattern.
Yeah.
But so I think it's okay. You could probably go a little bit variegated, but I think you'd lose the pattern if you went variegated.
That's the thing with texture. Texture and lace. Texture it's hard to see if it's too variegated.
No, it's going to look nice.
So,
it's a very subtle pattern. It's like a right? It's very nice.
So that's the thing. Like when you get single skeins of sock yarn, the bright bold ones are fun in the skein, but then if you like doing lace socks or texture socks or something
you have
like that,
to go a little more solid.
You want to find something compatible. You want to find something where the yarn and the pattern really mesh. And
you want your knitting to shine.
Yeah.
Sometimes the yarn can't also.
Yeah.
Yes. You got to pick one or the other. Like the bold ones are great for like stockinette socks. I tend to do plain vanilla socks.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or like the Rose City Rollers that you do.
I got that knitted wit with the orange and the blue, but like I'm not going to use that for Helen Stewart. That's like meant for
Yeah, it's meant for like that's going to shine the yarn, and this is going to shine.
This is
my. This is for the pattern, definitely.
Yeah.
Work not in progress, but it will shortly be like
soon to be.
Like
very
today.
soon.
Like I'm gonna skein this before I go home.
You also put something on the hook.
I do. I have 2 things on the hook.
Wow.
Look at you.
I told you.
So
What's my New Year's resolution?
Crochet.
Crochet. Right?
Crochet all day.
We're gonna crochet. So first,
oh my god,
look at that peanut.
This is a long-term whip. And it's still a whip because Stanley the Stegosaurus only has 4 plates right now. He's supposed to have 8 plates, so I need to do 4 more plates.
What's
He just has a little plate haircut.
Yeah.
Is he for Eric?
He's just
Eric or Charlie. I don't know. I have a Brontosaurus too.
Pick a child.
So cute.
That is so cute.
So, but
and does he sit? Does his tail make him sit?
He does sit.
Oh, that is so cute.
Oh, God, I think I need one.
Is from the
Toft
crochet kits that we have some in store.
We have some in store. We don't have dinosaurs right now, but we could get dinosaurs if you guys want.
If we have dinosaur interest.
Yeah. So if you want us to carry dinosaurs, you have to comment below.
Yeah, comment below. Let us know.
Otherwise, I don't have enough clout by myself to get dinosaurs on the order form.
I am not a strong enough crocheter to go for that.
I think we need.
You could do it. You totally could do it.
Yeah,
soon.
So
sewing that I'm.
It's a single crochet. The whole thing is single crochet.
So I guess maybe I should do that. I have to like, poll the boys and see what they want.
The instruction literally says complete beginner. This is a complete beginner pattern.
Yep. So cute. He's so cute.
Right?
And it comes with everything.
It comes with
the
hook.
Kids have everything you need.
The yarn,
the stuffing,
the stuffing, so you don't have to like sit there and go dig up polyfill stuff.
I probably didn't have
30
to
years
stuff
old.
it that tight, but I did.
It looks good. It makes them sit though.
Yeah,
it makes them.
So what's your other crochet thing?
So this is crochet number 1. I'll sit Stanley here. He can watch for
Stanley.
And then I have
this.
I have the beginning of my Through the Clouds by Rachy Newin.
Love it.
Really
right? And I'm going to take it up close.
Which is going to be a crochet workshop at Yarnia.
We are. We're going to have a workshop about this, which I need to go to because I think I'm not totally doing the color changes properly. But whatever, I'm going to double crochet or single crochet over the end, over the top.
This is a fingering weight shawl, right?
It is supposed to be a fingering weight shawl.
And you're doing it in?
I'm doing it in DK.
Okay. Rachy is actually going to come to Yarnia and teach a workshop on, I want to say March 15th.
That sounds right.
That is a Sunday afternoon from 2:30 to 4:30 about this shawl, and she's going to get you started, and
which is perfect because literally after you know how to do like the first 8 rows, which is just this little V right here,
the same bit.
Right. Then you do the same thing in every row.
And she's going to show you how to do the color changes. Stanley! Oh, poor Stanley getting whacked through the clouds. So Rachy will be here. She is a local designer in front of the store, and it's going to be... You can
and we've been
learn
like,
from
looking
the designer.
For opportunities to partner with her, so this was so perfect.
Her stuff is so gorgeous.
So I remember first seeing this. I think Rachy was wearing it at another trunk show.
I think it was at the first trunk show we had. It was and it was one of those things. Helena put out, a lot of different samples, but this one just immediately caught my eye. And then when I looked at the tag, I'm like, oh, it's by Rachy.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
no, but the texture,
she's so good.
I thought it was woven.
Yeah. I know, it looks woven. I totally thought it was woven. It is beautiful.
And
really nice.
Squishy,
and
not
totally
super
reversible.
Squishy, and so drapey.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So the other thing with this particular workshop is, as with pretty much every store, we do ask that for your projects that you work on here, in our classes that use our yarn. But this is such a good opportunity for someone to bring a really special skein, a fingering that they have from home, and then find some things here to pair with it. So we are doing that for this class.
Yeah, those onesies, twosies that you're like, what am I going to do with this?
And I'm using trunk show yarn.
You are, yeah.
Yes, I am using Oink. This is in her new Mystic base.
That's the nice really DK base.
Yeah, this is her new DK, Merino DK base. This is a limited edition colorway. It's called limited edition Indy 101. Indy 101.
It may as well have been called Amanda.
Right.
It's so
I actually just got a coat that was like this color. So I think I'm actually going to end up using 2 skeins on this, so I'm going to have an extra one. Yay!
Nice.
But the way that it works is you're basically alternating. This is Indy 101. This is, but speaking of coming to, getting your other skeins at Yarnia, because it's nice to have the whole palette to choose from.
Yeah,
it's hard to match things. It's hard for me to match things in my stash. I know some podcasters A, have a huge stash, or B, regularly buy the same colors, and so then it's easier to make a fade out of your stash. But I do not. I have neither a huge stash, and I like lots of different colors. So that does not make for good matching colors with what your stash is. So this is Tosh DK in the color that you didn't choose for that sweater.
Oh, right. The 11 light, maybe?
11 light, yeah.
11 light.
So that's the Tosh DK in that. And you can see how here I'm using both of those colors, both the pink and the white. And then you go to this. This is Quake in
Spun
right round. Yeah, they're squished.
That's such a pretty.
So those two. And so then you just go back, and then I'm going to stripe this, and then I'll stripe this. And
I think for this one you need 2 skeins of your main color, right?
Yes.
So you have 2 of the top.
Well, if you're using the main color the whole time, right, and you're alternating the well, in my case, the dark and the light, then you need twice as much of the color that you're using the whole time.
Rachy has yardage notes on her pattern page in Ravelry, so it's through the
and also in our class listing.
But honestly, you could do it sort of like the
night shift.
The night shift, where like you go alternate A and B and B and C and A and C.
And
the night shift is hanging that way.
Yeah, which is why we're looking here.
Off camera.
As usual.
So I mean, if you only have one skein that you want to use in particular,
you could totally
do that.
Work
you can make it work.
Yeah,
that's why it's your knitting.
You're the boss.
Boss.
But we also love to help people pick colors. So
it's super fun.
That's Kathleen's favorite job.
It is. It really absolutely is.
Colorways are fun.
You should see my camera roll on my phone. I've always got pictures of other people's yarn. And every now and then I kind of go through and it's like, even Vivian at Knit Night the other night, we're like looking, should I change my brooch? Should I not? And we looked at all these different combos. It's fun. It's the fun stuff. Totally.
It is fun.
Who doesn't love that?
Beth, do you have anything on your needles?
I do. And speaking of color, it is the most frustrating. It's not quite on my needles. I am swatching for a sweater that Amanda and I are doing.
And Evelyn has finished.
Evelyn has already done hers,
except for her
instructors.
Okay, so
and we've got
considering
a few. There's a
couple of customers doing it.
There's a couple of customers. Yeah,
I spy a couple of skeins on the table there. This is the Phenol Garn yarn. So this is my what would be my fall version of
fall
this.
palette.
I do like it.
I love it.
I'm going to take pictures and I'll put them up so you can
see in detail.
The chart itself, even when I rewrote the chart, like trying to figure out on their charts, like the colors changes are like a little bit too close.
Did you steek your swatch?
I didn't steek it. I went around and then just cut it up the back.
And
Is it moving?
Yes.
It's not moving, like at all.
Not really.
No.
Yeah.
And I didn't
It's
wash
nice
it
and
yet.
sticky.
No.
But
Very sticky
then
yarn.
last night I cut the bottom parts of this, but not the top yet because I'm still working on it.
Oh, look at the pink.
So this was
That
what I
is pretty.
originally picked out. I originally picked out this
pretty, too.
pink with that beige and blah blah blah, and
I
then I
do
was
love
like,
that
oh, what am I
beige.
doing with the white? Remember, this
Yeah.
is not the pattern. I was just messing around here. I like
to see how the
but I
colors
realized
look.
that I don't like the bright pink on the brown. Doesn't
It
show, but
doesn't
I
have a lot
like
of
it on the
contrast.
white.
You like it on the
So
white.
am I going to
Yeah.
make a springtime? Oh, and here's the other
Valentine's
thing.
or
Valentine's.
autumn?
Yeah, very Valentine-y.
I'm also combining the mustard color because I have it from here, or this yellow
Yeah.
is going to be in here.
Ooh, I like the pink
Because
and yellow.
It's nice to throw in a
know
real
what?
pop, like, you know,
Yeah.
one of your
And
colors
all the
be really
pressures. Some people did it
stick to a little
rainbow.
unexpected.
Yeah, some people didn't even follow any kind of like. You're supposed to have the same thing here
I
as
bet
here.
some people did it as
Some
Stash
people
Buster. They
just
just
Stash
like
Buster.
pick,
Oh, yeah, I'm
something
sure.
and
So I
went
have
with
these
it.
two really
So all
pretty
those are fun.
things.
I love them both.
Yeah, and then I have a couple other things, but the only thing
This is like Rhinebeck
You're like
sweater.
Mary Poppins.
Oh my
Like,
God,
all
I
your
always
projects from
Mary
your project
Poppins.
bag.
I have a lot of things with a lot of yarn hanging from them. So I'm usually a 2 at a time sock gal.
Yeah.
I usually start on DPNs and put them onto a magic loop. I did not do that this time. This is the Red Robin sock, same as Amanda's.
Same as these.
I'm a little bit tangled here, but this is my first sock that I did. I'm pretty sure this is the yarn over New York.
So it looks like yarn over New York.
The heel
Oh, that's so
and the
pretty.
cuff.
I love this color.
I have to double check. It's not the link, is it? No, I think it's the yarn over New York. And then the heels and the cuff are Firebird yarns in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
And then my toe might be the same, but it might also be a Smartie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure yet. But
You're gonna mix and match
so
it.
this is very new for me, doing one at a time. And the pattern's so easy that I could have really finished this. It's laziness that I do 2 at a time, and it's also getting at the same exact
You are
amount.
not on 5 hours of conference calls.
I know. So
Oh.
I'm almost done with these, and then I can start
Your new one.
the luminaries. Yes, but
Yes.
I'm getting there.
I love it.
Yes, and I left my sweater in progress at home because let's be real.
It is pretty, though.
You gotta
It's very
prioritize.
pretty. Yeah.
Sometimes you have to prioritize how many bags you have and where they are.
Exactly.
That's right.
I understand.
That's right.
I like both of those colorways. That's really that's
too.
This
really
is
tough
mine
to
is I'm
decide.
casting this on as soon as I'm done with this sweater. I have a shocking number of empty bags at my house. Like
Oh
I
my
have
goodness.
I
That's
have
so
cast
weird.
off so much stuff.
I've got
I
a bunch.
don't.
I have.
But
I'm
then I'm going to
having
start
that.
this, and I'm not going to cast anything off for 3
Yeah.
months.
So wait, Kathleen has her third sweater?
I do, but first I'll
Sure.
show you a quick
Okay.
peek at my.
Oh my gosh,
Isn't that
that's
so
cute.
fun? My chunky
You got
hat.
sucked in.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Well, you know
love
what?
it.
I was knitting in the car on the
there
way
it
to a
is.
party the other day that was a little more than an hour away.
So bright.
And
I
so
love it.
the thing that I
really
was
nice.
and then I got a phone call I had to take, so I wasn't knitting while I was on the phone. I mean, I wasn't driving, of course. But
Knitting, driving, and talking.
and on the phone.
Very
That's a
talented.
bit
That's
much.
what she's really
I
doing.
was knitting it on the phone, and then I'm like, I need to put
Your
this down.
Tesla was driving where you're supposed to go.
So since I finished this sweater, I've mainly been back to my Magnolia chunky, but I couldn't do that while I was on the phone, so I had brought along an extra project just in case.
Habanero.
And in case I had
So
knitting
nice.
time at the party, which I did not. It was a really fun party.
Oh, that's
I did
good.
not get to. It didn't feel right to pull out my knitting at that party.
Having
So-
your knitting at a party is like you
Well, it
can't have a
depends.
bad party
It
because
depends
it's
on-
such a
It
good
depends
backup.
Depends on who the party is.
No,
Like,
I
But
would-
if it's a bad party, then you have your knitting.
But
And
not
you
even a bad party. If you're just like, I'm overwhelmed, I'm gonna go sit in the corner and knit,
Yeah.
and people can come talk to me.
Oh,
or
well,
bring
I
me
like
food.
that too. That's my favorite at a bar. I'll sit in the corner of the bar and I'll just do my knitting, and then if someone wants to talk to me, they can.
There you go.
And if not, I have a good night.
So this is from our haul of knitted with
Yeah.
cotton candy from After Vogue Knitting Live. when
Yes.
they-
That's in
when
their
they gave us
habanero
some.
color.
This is
nice.
habanero,
I
and there
love
is
it.
still one skein of this left in the store.
Yeah.
So fun. Whatever. If I have to take a break from my Magnolia, I'll
Matches
finish
your
it.
bag right there.
Yeah, it
It
really
does.
does. Like,
Ooh,
do I have a
perfect.
palette? I
Yes.
totally have a palette. So that is that, which I
Super
didn't get very far, and it was
flashy.
dark on the way home, and I forgot my neck light because
Yeah.
sometimes I bring my neck light and I
Yeah,
do.
that's
You
knit
mean
on
the
way
yarn
home,
didn't
too.
light up the
Yeah.
path for you?
No, I know you would
I
think.
feel
right?
like it should. It's very like.
That's why
Surprise.
Stanley has 4th thing. 'Cause it got dark in the car.
So, but my main thing
Oh,
I'm working
look
on
at
is
that.
my Magnolia, and this is why I do think I may finish it during February because
you will.
I'm up to. I'm really close to the ribbing on the bottom, and the reason I didn't work on this in the car is that I wasn't happy with my nups. I'm
right.
still going to call them nups, which I know
That's fine.
apparently they're in Estonian they are noops, But everyone calls them nups usually.
I call them nups.
So I had a frog like 5 rows and then get it back on and everything. And I was like, I'm not
look great
though. I frog. So I did the crocheted method. So much easier. I mean, I was a crocheter before I was a knitter. So much easier to do with the crochet
list
hook.
of things.
I was making something.
I'm writing it down.
I misplaced the bag with the project. I just realized when you said nups, I'm like, I lost my bag with that project somewhere.
So I think I have 4 more rows of the lace before I'm just on to the ribbing, which I think I'm going to do like 2 inches, and it's just twisted rib. So, and then I've just got the sleeves and the button band to do.
You're close.
So
you're totally gonna finish.
I should finish it.
You have to finish.
I know.
Inspired me to do
you've only got a couple of days,
That's,
and you've got
I have till
less
Sunday. I think I have till Sunday.
Sunday is the
right?
first.
There you go.
Sunday the
Sunday's
first,
the
or is
first.
it?
So Saturday
Saturday
is your bonus day.
Yeah,
we have an
That's
extra
right.
day this
That's
year.
right. Exactly.
Kathleen has an extra day to finish her sweater.
Yeah.
There you go.
But Haley's
Leave
coming
your
home on
sweater.
Friday night and everything.
We'll
so.
understand if you
We'll
sit
see.
and
Yes.
do your sleep.
You can still talk to her.
Well,
And
we have a lot of plans. We have like we're cramming so much stuff into
And
the
we
8
have a
days that she's
knittle on.
home.
We have a. I'm gonna call this chunky. I have mine. We have a chunky knittle on.
We do.
That's true.
Right?
That's true. So
I'm done.
And we've
finished mine.
with our New Year's
So we'll
resolutions,
see.
we've got to think of a good prize for that knittle on because we're gonna do prizes for our knittle.
yes,
Yeah, we're
we
gonna start
need
doing
to-
prizes
We
for
need to be
knitting
better
ones.
about that.
So
All right.
All right,
that
so
is my
wait,
last
I will think
on
of
the
a fennel
needles.
garden. So it'll be a surprise prize.
It'll be a surprise prize. Yeah. There
So
we go.
if you have a chunky sweater, get it in before March 1st.
Post
And
on
we
our
do-
Ravelry.
We have
On our Ravelry.
There's a thread that Edith started with the Ursa Minor.
Yes.
So post in there. That'll be our chunky. We'll maybe amend the title of that to be chunky sweater /
Chunky / bulky.
Yes.
Yeah.
By Sunday.
By Sunday.
By Sunday.
I don't think I'll be able to do mine, but you know, I might
I don't know,
end up
you'd be
getting the
surprised.
yarn. Yeah.
This goes really quickly.
Quite
Yeah,
a few
I
people.
do
goes
like
really
it.
quickly.
Yeah.
So let's go to Newin store. We have just a couple of things. The first of which I'm going to show is our flight of stitch markers from Coco Knits, which Amanda will take pretty pictures. But it has the split ring stitch markers, the triangle stitch markers, the small stitch markers, the original stitch markers, and the jumbos. So this has you covered with everything you'll need in its own cute little tube.
I
need
love the
one of
tubes
those.
because they fit so nicely in
lost all my
your
stitch
little
markers.
notions, Dave.
I had a
saw
stitch
your
marker
post.
crisis.
I saw your post. That was
I
so
know,
funny.
Amanda couldn't find her stitch markers. I'm like,
yeah.
mine are in my couch.
Mine are in my couch
I
too.
literally
Mine are
have
under that
like-
desk.
I know.
And in my couch.
I don't know where they are.
Mine
That's
are in my
crazy.
knitting spot.
Amanda can go get these cute little rainbow colored. They're all rainbow colored. She'll take pictures.
Maybe I
Of
have a
all
picture
different
from the newsletter.
kinds
Yeah.
of Coco Knits stitch markers, and I believe they are $24 for the flight.
They are, and it's
Which-
it's a lot. It's like 20
A lot of
per
stitch markers,
style, I
yeah.
think.
Yeah, it's
So it's like
24
a-
per style.
Or yeah,
It's
over
24 per
100.
style.
It's
A lot
like
of stitch markers. You could replenish your whole
125
thing.
stitch markers.
And the
so
cute
it's a
little
good
tubes,
value. It's
the
a good
packaging,
as always, their packaging is so nice.
The-
It really is.
box with the magnet.
more-
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
4 each
yeah.
of 6 colors, 24 each.
24 each, so 24 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is that?
us your math.
Like a little over
72?
25?
25?
125?
125. Math is not my
Something
strong
like
suit.
that. Something in that range.
It's a
Estimating.
lot.
You're the mather. You're supposed to do
What?
it.
120.
120. There we go.
There you go.
120.
Says so
Amanda can
on
do
the back. I can
Oh,
read.
look. She can read. Show off. We also have, speaking of Beth and Amanda's colorwork cardigan.
yeah.
So this isn't like new, but we have just restocked.
We have just restocked, including
This
this
is the,
pretty
this
green.
is this is the new because I was looking at these to do. Scandier does Christmas mittens every year. She celebrates Christmas. I celebrate Christmas, and I wanted to make her Christmas mittens in Christmas colors, which is like red and like this red and green,
Yeah.
and a white, but we had no green.
We didn't have a Kelly green.
We had like
green.
that green.
I
And we
love
had
red and lime though.
green.
I think that's so fun
But
for
it's
a
not
like, modern
Christmas.
Christmas.
Right.
It's like
I'm
modern
not
Christmas
modern.
to me.
Oh, you weren't on my conference call this morning where everybody else is on video and I refuse to open my video because I'm like, y'all don't need to look at my face for 2 hours. There's literally no reason.
No.
But
It's not like it's a podcast.
it's totally
It's
not a
just a
podcast.
conference call.
Y'all need to look at my face for 2 hours.
Hopefully not 2 hours.
No,
Although
no,
maybe
no,
we'll
no.
see. We'll see how it
We're
edits.
approaching. I just got to notice that my
close.
parking is ready.
I'm going to mention the name of the yarn because we haven't, which is
Oh.
True.
Fennel PT2, and it's the Rommel garn.
No, it's Rama. Yeah, Rama.
Rama. Garn. Garn is
Phenol
yarn.
Wrong.
So one of the phenol.
Well, Phenol and PT2 used to be separate companies, and then they merged, and now Phenol and PT2 became a singular line because they were super, super similar, had similar palettes, although if you follow that merger whole thing, right, there were some colors of...
Some got discontinued.
There were some Phenol colors that
your sweater,
didn't quite make it. Some shades that didn't make it.
This is what happens when I stay late for the class on Sunday and I see Beth swatching for her sweater and I say, oh, you know what would be pretty? This colorway. And then I'm like, maybe I should make one. And I was like, no.
I should note that I'm walking around with 10 skeins of phenol in my bag right now. And when I cast on for the second swatch, what I did was I just kept 3 that I had and then got the 3 original ones I wanted, which 2 of which you have, the pink and the dark pink.
Right?
But yeah, it happens.
I love this pink. I have this pink in my...
It happens.
I love
I have
it.
it all
It
laid
started-
out, and then it's a thing.
It started when I was like, oh, I really like this pink, and it's not normally my color. And then I was like, look at that teal.
I love their palette.
the teal.
They've got some really great
nice
colors.
because
You could really throw
We've got
everything
golds, we've
together.
got pastels.
Just-
the Damejakka
it's good.
Loppa
It all works.
takes 6 colors, 6 or 7.
6. 5 in a main.
Okay.
So,
And you could even
what
use
I
more if
have
you really
here-
wanted
And
you
to.
could
I'm
actually
sure you could
your
spread
main,
more.
Now that I'm
your
writing
main
the
and your
swatch.
button band.
Yeah, you could do more, you could do less, really.
Yeah.
Right. Your
Yeah.
main and your button band, you need more than 1 skein. But the rest, you only need 1 skein.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
good.
Let me see, Jen.
that's
Pretty.
That's really nice.
It's very you.
Yeah.
With the teal, the gray, and then some other fun things.
now you
Oh.
can
It reminds
make
me a little
Christmas.
Am I
Dog
going to
there.
do a fingering weight
In
colorwork
February.
steep sweater?
Yeah, in February.
Probably. Probably going to do it.
I also
You're gonna
was
do
watching Arne Carlos, and they have a new sock pattern out. Yeah,
I like those
Yeah.
two greens together.
it's a colorwork
actually.
sock pattern, and they started doing a series about traditional Norwegian colorwork patterns and like the
Cool.
history of them and
Wow.
Cool.
how they developed over the years and where they come from and what the meanings are. It's super cool. Totally
Nice.
recommend. I'll
Very
link it
nice.
below.
Yeah.
But there's a sock pattern that goes with the first one.
Nice.
Very nice.
All right.
So that has wrapped us up.
Yes. We're
Yeah.
Thanks for having
We're
me.
chatty today.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming,
Beth.
Beth.
It was good.
Loved it.
We have
I
30%
don't know
more
if I'm looking
people,
at the
so we have a
camera,
30%
but,
longer podcast.
There
Right.
you go. Exactly.
That's what she's going to say when she's editing it. So in the meantime, thank you for joining us. And please remember to like and subscribe down under Kathleen That Away. And follow us on Instagram, Shop Yarn.
Isn't it so pretty?
I'm supposed to be on the phone.
Wonderful.
I'm literally supposed to be on the phone call
All
right
right.
now.
I love
Follow us
this.
on social media. We are on Ravelry as Shop Yarnia, Facebook, Yarnia LLC, and clearly
Isn't that
we're
gonna be
devolving
nice,
into
yeah?
giggles.
Yeah.
Ravelry,
We gotta
Shop
go.
Yarnia. We all gotta go. We'll see you later. Bye.
See you
Thanks
next
for
time.
watching.
So now I think I
Just follow us on all the social media.
just left.